As we near the conclusion of Toronto International Film Festival 2021, I think this is a strategy of saving one of the best for last. And that brings me to my review of the film Silent Night. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the film Silent Night, which is under the Gala Presentations category this year at Toronto International Film Festival, TIFF 2021. And yes, as this Toronto International Film Festival is concluding, one of the last films that press were able to screen is Silent Night, and it was on my list of something I wanted to check out. I thought the concept was really cool, which I'll come back to in a second. The cast is phenomenal, and indeed, there was a lot of films that I enjoyed. Meaning that the film may not have been particularly good, but I enjoyed it. And I try to keep my reviews as positive as I can. But I gotta say that this film really was one of those type of films where, like, you go to a mall, you're looking for nothing maybe, and you see a pair of shoes that you like, you're like, I'm buying those. And that's how I feel about with this film. It's like, I was, a little bit curious about this film, but like ultimately, I not only enjoyed this film, I thought it was refreshing, and ultimately I thought it was a good film. Really not a film like I felt very similarities to anything else I've seen, but nonetheless, I thought the concept was simple, refreshing, and yet executed very well. So that brings me to what this film is. So basically, you got family and friends all coming together. They're all in the UK. There's a poisonous gas that's sweeping across the UK, and people are dying from it. And yes, there's video footage of people on YouTube and whatnot bleeding from the eyes and all sorts of just hemorrhages from the poisonous gas. And yes, because it's on YouTube, that means there's a possibility that there's a hoax, and then there's also other people that's just at peace with that. So you got this group of people basically coming together, celebrating one last time all together. And it's bringing adults, kids, all sorts of different things. And it's, for the most part celebratory, but at the other part, it's also a little bit of like a family get together, just like any Christmas night, where people kind of airing out laundry and kids definitely overstepping. But it just really all came together really well. Now this stars Oscar nominee Keira Knightley, Matthew Goode, and my favorite character, Roman Griffin Davis, who plays Art, who's also from the film Jojo Rabbit. The kid Art is easily my favorite character. I will come back to it in 1 second. So quickly, I will say that the one part about this film that I wasn't really high on was the visuals of this gas tornadoes going about. It almost made this film feel like a parody of some sort. Like, I feel like the effects of it, the visuals, kind of was giving me Sharknado vibes. I mean, maybe not that bad, but definitely was like, it didn't feel very natural at all. Like, it did not feel at all by any means like it wanted to like try to be as practical as possible. It did not give me that vibe at all. And whatever. And then the score at times I felt like drowned a lot of what I felt was the best part of this film as well too, and that was the dialogue and the banter between characters. Sometimes the score was so heightened, and I get it, because of the idea that this is kind of giving you Christmas vibes, and Christmas is really predicated by the design, which the set piece and everything was really nice. And then obviously the music, and then the film is called Silent Night, but still feel like the score could have just been tweaked down just a little bit. And not in every scene, but some scene, it was so heightened, it was just drowning everything out for me. By the way, Silent Night and the way how they kind of utilized it for the theme here, the song, I thought was really, really interestingly done, and it was pretty cool. And also the theme of Silent Night, I mean, obviously at the conclusion of the night, everybody was going to be dead because of it. Or that's to be determined, because again, you don't know if it's a hoax, or if you don't know if, this is truly the end of everybody's fate here. Now, one of my favorite parts, was the dialogue, and I really loved the banter between adults and the kids, especially Art. I mean, there's so much vulgar dialogue, but it was done very good. And I know it's a crazy thing to kind of say, but like, how sometimes you can tell like curse words are kind of forced. This one was just very natural. Like, I felt like there was a lot of prep and then teaching these kids how to curse properly, And I thought it was like the banter and the chemistry amongst these characters, especially between adult and kids, which is not really a given. I thought it was done really well on that note. So I really did appreciate that. And like, while there was moments where you saw implied jokes coming, there was also some really low-key funny moments as well too. Like, there was this one moment where they're all pretty much getting ready to like meet their end, and they all kept saying good night, good night, good night, good night, or whatever they were saying, like I miss you, or I forgot to say bye. It was something they just kept saying. And you know, like the whole thing when you kept saying like, are you there? Are you there yet? Are you there yet? And how that's kind of annoying but kind of funny at times. They were doing one of those type of things, which kind of eerily felt similar to like a moment in Home Alone. But again, it's like little stuff like that where it's just like, okay, I get what you're doing here. I appreciate that, you know. But yeah, I will say expected unexpected. This film definitely has a lot of enjoyable, likable, and even memorable characters that you understand who they are as a person and why they react the way they do. And you know, some characters they put more emphasis on and some you don't, but it just really all came together really well. So, you know, whether you laugh a lot, whether you chuckle at moments, you will definitely get reactions from this film. But yeah, other than that, I thought it was really good, enjoyable for sure. Art was my favorite character. And I thought the conclusion, which I was a little bit worried about when you're building up to the suspense of what's going to happen at the end, you know. For a moment, I thought this film was going to end, leaving us on an ultimate cliffhanger, but it was a satisfying conclusion, which I won't tell you about, that ultimately made this film work for me. So folks, this is Silent Night. Totally keep an eye out for this. You know, it's showing at this year's TIFF. I would expect, if it doesn't already have distribution, to get distribution soon, because it's one of those type of films that I can see fitting on numerous platforms. So definitely keep an eye out for it. And then with the star power as well, which I should mention that even Keira Knightley performance was really good. And also, I think when you talk about the dynamics of kids and adults, I thought the meshing of everybody worked really well. That everybody still had really good opportunities to shine, as you know, in displaying, you know, their level of skill of being an actor, but also really letting their characters radiate. So ultimately, I really have no gripes about some of the minor things I said earlier. So I enjoyed the film, and I can't wait for you all to check it out. But totally jump in the comments, folks. Let me know your thoughts about this film, and I'll see you around very soon for more reviews.